When we think about dreams, most of us think about what happens when we sleep. But I'm talking about those big goals that you have in life, like losing weight, making more money, or starting your own business. These are things that you may want to do so badly, but for whatever reason you just can't seem to get started. So today I'd like to talk about the psychology of motivation and how to make your dreams a reality. I read this really good book called From Dreams to Reality by Dr. Tim Castle. It was written for people who want to start their own business, but it also applies to anyone who wants to achieve a big goal. He says that all humans have two types of thinking, rational and emotional. We can use both of these to motivate ourselves, and in this video, I'd like to talk about them. The first type is rational thinking. This is where we weigh up the pros and cons. We think logically about what needs to be done. This way of thinking works well if you're doing something routine, like planning a vacation or choosing a new phone plan. But when it comes to achieving a big dream, this style of thinking will often hold you back. Because with big dreams, there are also big risks involved. You could fail or look foolish or lose everything. So when you start thinking rationally about this, you might conclude that maybe it's not worth it, that the risks are too high. So then you never even get started. Or even if you do, you don't put 100% into it because you're still weighing up the pros and the cons in your head. So let's take an example. Imagine you want to start a business, but you're worried about what other people will say. In this case, rational thinking would be telling yourself, look at all the downsides. People will judge me. They'll laugh behind my back. They'll say I've lost the plot. It's too risky. What if I fail? Better to be safe than sorry. Now imagine someone who has a friend tell them that they believe in them and their ability to succeed, that they'll support them no matter what. Which of these people do you think will be more likely to succeed? Yes, the one who is confident that they can do it. When we feel confident, we're more likely to try our best and persevere when things get tough. Now, of course, you might think that confidence isn't realistic, that you need to be logical and assess your skills and experience before deciding whether or not you can actually do something. But studies show that confidence is the #1 predictor of success, far more important than your IQ, your social intelligence, or even your personality. If you're feeling stuck right now, it's likely that you're letting rational thinking dominate your mind. To fix this, try to turn your negative thoughts into positive ones. If you keep thinking I can't do this, then eventually you won't even try. But if you focus on how great it would feel to achieve your goal, if you focus on how proud you'll be, then you'll be more motivated to go after it. Of course, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be realistic and assess your strengths and weaknesses, but it shouldn't stop you from going after your dreams. Which brings us to the second kind of thinking, emotional thinking. Emotional thinking is the exact opposite of rational thinking. Rather than weighing up the pros and cons, you either love or hate something. With emotional thinking, your gut instinct takes over. You make decisions based on your intuition, on how you feel. This way of thinking makes you more likely to take risks. It makes you more creative. It allows you to embrace the unknown rather than being afraid of it. Emotional thinking is essential when it comes to big dreams. Let me explain. Imagine you have a friend who's really shy. Would you recommend that they take a job that requires them to speak in front of large groups of people? Probably not. Even if they were capable of doing a good job, their shyness would hold them back. Their fear of public speaking would stop them from even trying. So in this situation, rational thinking would tell them that it's just not worth the risk. What if they freeze and everyone laughs at them? What if they stumble over their words? Wouldn't it be better to stick to something more comfortable? But then what if they had a friend tell them that they know they can do it, that they have faith in them, that they'll be great? Suddenly your shy friend feels more confident. Their fear hasn't gone away, but it no longer controls them. They're able to see the bigger picture. They remember why they wanted to do this in the first place. In this example, we see the power of emotional thinking. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that you should ignore your emotions. You shouldn't pursue something that you hate just because some random person told you that you can do it. That would be stupid. But it does mean that you should listen to people who you respect and admire, people whose opinions you value. If someone you trust believes in you, then it's time to believe in yourself. To use emotional thinking to achieve your dreams, you need to surround yourself with people who inspire you, people who encourage you to push forward. And one of the best ways to find these people is by reading books. It's basically like having a conversation with the author. You can learn from their experiences and apply them to your own life. I've personally read over 100 self-improvement books, and one of the most influential ones was From Dreams to Reality. Now, if you've never read a self-improvement book before, then you're probably wondering, what's so special about them? How are they different from any other book? Well, The thing about self-improvement books is that they make you reflect on your life. They challenge you to become a better version of yourself. If you're someone who wants to improve, who wants to achieve something more, then this can be uncomfortable at times. It's basically like looking in a mirror that shows you all your flaws and weaknesses, but it's also what makes them so powerful. Think about the last time someone gave you honest feedback. Maybe a friend told you that your joke wasn't funny, or a teacher told you that your essay needed work. Did you feel upset or insulted at the time? Probably. But afterwards, did you realize that they were right? Yes. That's the thing about self-improvement books. They're not there to make you feel good. They're there to help you grow, to push you outside your comfort zone. And the thing is, most of us don't like leaving our comfort zone. We like to feel good, to feel safe and secure. But if you really want to achieve your dreams, then you need to be willing to feel uncomfortable, to feel insecure. Only then will you be forced to adapt, to grow, to become better. In the book From Dreams to Reality, Tim Castle shares stories of successful entrepreneurs and breaks down exactly what made them successful. He covers topics like confidence, creativity, and decision-making. He talks about how to deal with failure, how to build resilience, and how to overcome mental blocks. This is a book that I highly recommend to anyone who wants to chase their dreams. So now I want to ask you a question. What are your biggest dreams? What do you want to achieve? Please share your thoughts below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm sure you'll also enjoy some of my other videos on habits, productivity, and personal growth. Thanks for watching.